Hello viewers and welcome to Rollercoaster Tycoon. As you can probably tell, I mean this game has been around for like 20 years or something, and I saw like a blog post about this game and I figured I might as well just play it seeing as how I own it. I mean this game is it's been around for like forever and it's been a classic game. It's one of those things that are sort of part of your childhood and I really enjoy it. I mean, granted that I only play it like once or twice a year, but here we are, we're playing the Leafy Lake scenario, and today we're really just supposed to build up an amusement park, as you might imagine. And currently it's May year 1, and I think we have until October year 3 to build an amusement park that has 500 people inside it, and a park rating of 600, I believe. Check that real soon. Yeah, so 500 guests and 600 park rating, and we're given this lake area and this area just sort of to do that. So anyhow, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I need to explain this game very much, seeing as how everybody has played it. But in the case that I do, the main thing about this game is that you can build you can build the vast majority of the attractions yourself. And inside this particular scenario, you actually start off with none of these attractions. And so far, I've built a Ferris wheel, a merry-go-round, and this wooden roller coaster here. So we're really just going with that. So the general idea is that you build a few gentle rides like these Ferris wheels, and some of the more intense rides like these roller coasters, and then you also build a few food stalls and some decor, and you just really earn cash, and there's no other point apart from that inside the game. So, our park so far is doing fairly well. I mean, the amount of guests are going up, people are starting to line up, although there's not that many people inside the game just yet, so not a lot of people are using this roller coaster just yet, but things are going good. So, currently I'm just plugging down a few buildings, and I think we'll work on building like a little food court area. That's what I'm going to do over here. And afterwards, I can just sort of explain a little bit. Let's see where this guy got lost from. That's why. So currently, I mean, I want to focus around building this amusement park inside this area over here around the coast, but I don't want people wandering inside this area over here, so I sort of removed some land earlier to sort of stop people from wandering, because the pedestrians or the little people inside this game are really, really dumb, and they like to wander really, really far away without doing anything, so that's sort of that. But it looks like it's going to be too much of a hassle removing them one by one, so I think I'll just leave them, I think I'll leave this area open so then they can go all the way around, figure out that there's nothing over there, and come back. So anyhow, moving on, I mean, I want to build up a little food area, so let's do that. We'll start off with a washroom close by to the roller coaster, because I assume a lot of people will probably need to use that. And we want one place for food, so we'll have a fries stall. And we will open that up too. I'll change the prices in a bit. Now we also want a food drink stall right next to it. And that will be this area for now. Oh, and we also want a few benches here and there. A few garbage cans. And that really completes the place. So this game, it's fairly nifty. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just kind of cool with it. There's a lot of people just wandering around over here. The main thing is that inside this game, as you sort of build up your amusement parks here and there, they'll start to generate a ton of cash, and then you can build more wilder rides and stuff like that as you sort of go along here. So, the main thing is that currently we have a few rides and they're starting to generate a little bit of money, but as the game sort of goes on and on, you'll need to get a few more people, you'll need to get a few more rides and a few more other things, just as sort of as the game sort of just progresses through. What I can do here is that I can't block off the pathways, so I think I'll just put a few do not enter signs, and then people won't enter, but then the people trapped or wandering through here can still sort of get out, so I'll do something like that. And I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure if I should just sort of explain my way through this game or not, simply because I think a lot of people have already played it. Currently, I mean, we already have 3 rides, and these things are things that I have built for us here. You don't actually start off the game with them, including this roller coaster, which looks fairly complex, but it's actually fairly simple. So currently, I mean, I think the park will just sort of, I'll sort of let the park grow for a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about this roller coaster and how I built it. I figured it would be a little too time-consuming to actually build it on screen, but what I've done here is that I built a roller coaster that sort of builds up momentum as it goes along. In this earlier portion here, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up, goes through a loop-de-loop, and then sort of just goes along its way here. It's really rather nifty how the game, it tracks like the velocity of it, tracks the altitude and the amount of G's it actually pulls off, it pulls, so, you know, really, really nifty game. Cool thing about it is that these rides, when you build them, you have to take a look at 3 different stats. It actually tracks the excitement and the intensity, and as well as the nausea of your roller coasters, and I think all of the rides, but primarily the roller coasters. And as you sort of build them up, you have to figure out, you know, how far, how intense do we want it? Because some people, they won't, some of the guests, they won't actually ride the super intense rides, but we also want to monitor how nauseous it actually makes people here. And as you can probably tell on the pathways, there's already some puke due to the fact that the people just can't hold their lunch pretty much after riding this thing, considering that it has a 5.49 nausea rating. So yeah, the game has a lot of these nifty things just about how you can make the rides, and it's really rather elaborate, which is the nice thing about it. So we already have 3 rides here. It looks like the amount of people inside our park is still continuing to climb, and I think we can include a few more rides, so let's do that. And, well, the problem with Leafy Lake here is that, well, we have a lot of space on the water. There's not really much else around the sides, so we want to build a few more gentle rides on the side. And one thing that we should note is that we want to space out our rides a little bit, and we don't want to crowd people in one location. We want these guests to sort of get lost in here and just really figure things out by themselves. I'm gonna open up a slide here because I really like these. These things generate a copious amount of income, and in reality, they're a slide that you charge people like $2.50 to go down through. So yeah, there's the building rides part of the game, but there's also the management side of the game where we have to hire a few handymen. So I'll do that right away. I'll hire like 2 of these guys, and they cost about $35 per month, and they'll just wander about, and they'll just sort of sweep up messes and do stuff like that. I don't want them to mow the grass, simply because what that does is that it'll just get these guys to mow the entirety of the map, and it really just sort of locks them up like that. But in the meantime, I mean, build a few more rides, and yeah, you'll see here, there's just a copious amount of people going for this slide, despite the fact that nobody... Yeah, it's literally a slide that takes like 2 seconds to go down. Roller coaster's filling up, so that is nice, and that's generating us a ton of money. That's generating us at least $9 per ride, and that's because I think the intensity rating is actually what the game bases the amount of money that that you can charge for each ride, meaning that we can actually bump that up to a copious amount, and people will still ride it. So yeah, our park is starting to grow bigger and bigger, and we're about a quarter ways there to the objective, so that is nice. The other thing that, so we have some management elements of the game, meaning we do have to take a look at hiring mechanics and stuff, and that is actually really important. So I'll hire a mechanic because your rides can actually fail, and for some people you can actually kill the people just sort of walking around the parks if you drown them, or actually I think that's the only way really, but or no, if something explodes. But still, I mean, it's fairly interesting to just sort of look and play around with. So, going from here, it looks like there are full lines at our rides, and what I want to do here is that I want to research a few more things. We don't need any more scenery, we don't need any ride improvements, we don't need any more shops, so we mainly just need roller coasters, thrill rides, and gentle rides, and we'll do maximum funding for that too. The neat thing about roller coasters is that every time it ends, it seems like the vast majority of the people just go right back on it, so these things just constantly generate you money. Going from here, let's see what other things we can build, because I think the game caps you on the amount of people that you have, per the amount of pathways that you have, and the amount of area that, or the amount of rides that you have around. So let's see, we can build a car ride, and these things are notoriously slow though, so that is rather unfortunate. I think what we'll do is we'll build one of these scrambled egg things, and here I think they're the centrifugal things that spin people just around and round. So we'll build that in this little corner area, and we'll have another thing over here. The main rides that I like to build is actually the gentle rides, like the things like the what do you call it? The hedge maze with the corn maze thing. Actually, I don't know why, but those things are actually so fun to build. So our rides are starting to generate a bit more money. That's good. I'm gonna set the prices here. It might not actually be on the amount of money that you can actually generate off of these rides. It might not actually be off of the intensity, but I think that's a nice way to gauge it. So I think I'll have these rides over here, the pre-built ones, to 250, I guess. It might be actually a combination of the intensity and the excitement. In that case, I might be able to charge like $20 for this roller coaster, but I don't think I'll try that, just simply because. So yeah, really rather peaceful game. The cool thing about it is that the game designer here, whoever his name is, Chris Sawyer apparently, he made it really elaborate, and while the AI pathfinding is fairly dumb, I mean, these guys they do a lot of nifty things, like they have their own, each guest, they have your own stats, they have like the amount of money that they have, and it'll track their like happiness, energy, and a whole bunch of other stats here. The cool thing is that if you build these park benches next to a roller coaster, the people, if they get nauseous, they'll actually use them. They'll actually start sitting down and just sort of waiting out their stomach, really. So yeah, really rather nifty. And we're getting a lot of, we managed to discover a steel roller coaster, which is kind of cool, but we don't have any more cash to build it. 44 people on this roller coaster, so that is really nice. I'm going to put this panel up on the side of the screen here so that we can just sort of keep track of what we have and what people are doing. This Ferris wheel could be probably bumped up to $3. I think people will be able to pay for that. And yeah, really the game just sort of goes on like this. And with these handyman people, we can also designate them zones. So I want to designate this area for this guy. So he'll only manage the frontal area of the park, and he'll just sort of clean up after this area where whatever parts that he can see. And I mean, this game, yeah, it's really rather nifty. So we have a few rides, and I think we can expand a little more to the side. Still have a lot of cash, and I think we'll have a boat ride, a boat for hire ride, and we'll just put that over here, really. So we'll build a few station areas like that, and these boat for hire ones, they're kind of nifty because you have the choice of making them either just sort of based on the waterfront or sort of off the waterfront, and yeah, you don't actually you don't need to, sorry, nothing about the waterfront. It's mainly you don't actually need to have a path on them. They'll be able to figure out their own thing. So what I want to do here is that I just want to build a little area like this where we can have a gentle boat rental for people who are interested. And generally speaking, not a lot of people use these, so I think I'll only have a short line like that for it. But the main thing for these is that I think I can charge up to about $4 for it. So we'll do that. And then we can take a look at what people think about it. some people can't afford it because this guy, guest number 302, he's he's probably been on the roller coaster like so many times that he spent $50 on it. Yeah, or at least his $54. Because I think we charged like $9 for this roller coaster. I'm not really sure if I mentioned that or I did that before the video, but yeah, it costs $10 to practically $10. $5 more if you want a picture at the end too. You have that nice little smiley face and camera sign right here. So this thing, yeah, it makes bank pretty much. So yeah, that is pretty much Rollercoaster Tycoon. It's mainly the same process of building these little attractions and going from there. Mainly, I actually really enjoy the decor side of things, where you can actually decorate the parks to a large extent. Inside the second game, you can actually build like buildings, just using its system. But I don't think in this one you can. This guy should really stop mowing the grass simply because he'll just never quit, pretty much. And there we go. So our park is doing fairly well. You got all the rides filled up, and this game just really goes like that. It's really, really nice and peaceful. And yeah, cool. Unfortunately, sometimes in this game, you have these periods where, like, we've already built the vast majority of the rides open right now. Eventually, as the game sort of goes on, you'll gain a few more rides as the research team sort of does its thing. But right now, it looks like it'll be until the 25th of July. Currently, I think it's mid-July, until we get July 14th. So it'll be a little while before we get another ride. In that meantime, I mean, there's a little bit of time inside this game where you just sort of have to wait things out. And what I usually like to do inside these times is that, like, typically it's going to be alt-tabbing to do something else. But I think since we're recording, I'll build up some decor to make these areas look really nice. And Leafy Lake here, as you can probably tell, it's going with this this country theme park look, where it has these wooden walkways, where these everything's made out of wood or sort of dirt pathways. With that sort of said, I want to make this like a country little park, starting off with some nice boundaries like that. And this middle area, I'll build it up with a few more stalls later on, but currently, I mean, we don't really need much here. So we'll build up an area like that, and I think we'll place a nice little looking garden over here. So we'll start off. I want to make the flowers diverse here, so I'm going to change things up. Here we go. And some more back here, some here, and here. So yeah, this game is it's really rather relaxing. I think I might be going a little bit overboard with the flowers, but I mean, they look really rather nice just in general. I'm not really sure if you guys agree with me on that, but I think they look really nice, so I've been plucking them down like crazy. Let's take a look at how this park actually looks from the front side of it. So this appears to be the only place that people can actually enter our park from. And it looks like when they, sort of walk through these hedgerows, the first thing that they see is this roller coaster up above. And it looks like these hedgerows, they prevent people from looking to the side. So it's the equivalent of brick walls, right? But immediately when they enter the park, just if you picture it in your head, they see this Ferris wheel because it's tall. They see the little purple tower or blue tower over here, and then you have the roller coaster going up above. So I mean, that must be quite a pretty sight to sort of see. And of course, you have like the mass ton of flowers that are put here too. With these flowers, let's have a few of these little bushes inside the background that give them a zigzag pattern inside the game. Should also look fairly pretty. Yeah, I can see this being like one of those OCD titles where people spend like a copious amount of time worrying about like the placement of like one or two trees. And I want to space them out just sort of one or two. Every 2 blocks I'll have one of these little bushes, just like that. There we go. It's a shame that we'll have to get rid of a few of these bigger trees to put these things down. And there we go. So that'll pretty much set up this area where we have the where we have the food stalls and the Ferris wheel and stuff like that.